Hey, welcome to this video, guys, with hanging out with the Cabrota and myself, Spirit Maker, and then Gross Monkey here on the lives that we always do. Hopefully someday we'll probably be on there together as we continue to progress through our space here and building out, teaching with others, and also continue to develop ourselves out. That is kind of our end goal as we continue to trade ourselves into daily job. I mean, that is really instead of just kind of being an investment piece, just opportunities that you can move yourself in that area. To be honest, really, we are close to that right now. It's nice to make sure you have all your plans in place and your goals in place. Encourage everybody to actually do that for themselves as well. You see us with struggles up and down. We have found quite a bit of strength in trading, and one of the biggest things is a system, and the reason why I say a system is because that way you can continuously understand price action and why it's doing what it does, and you can really start to learn. If you're trying to learn price action right now and really trying to dig into this space, you'll probably find that you get frustrated because you never really understand the why behind something. Why is it going? Why did it break out today? Why didn't it break out yesterday? Whatever. Why is it going down? Why is it going up? All those questions constantly are being asked, and you're asking yourself that as you're going through that. And we've been there. I've been there with you just as much as anybody else. I mean, like right now, that's why there's so many people out there trying to help others. It's because we're all trying to answer that question. And to be honest, it's a system. It's consistency. It's sticking to something. Yeah, it's money management. Yeah, it's looking at different indicators, and all that's good. But really, it's consistency when you see something in the charts that you're doing the same action over and over. And it's not all about making a win or a loss on a trade, making profit or losing capital. That's not really what's setting you up for success. And I will say right now, with what's going on, this is a day that a lot of people actually lost a capital, and there's actually been like that for weeks, and it was pretty crazy that really the price action said that it wanted to go down. Now, could we continue to go down? Yes, but let's go ahead and talk about that today and dig into some key levels for us and what's going on this week ahead, and what was actually a pretty neat setup right now. Now, we're not out of the woods. There's some key areas that we need to get through, but we already bounced up and we're starting to maintain. We didn't bounce up and then crash again. That's what you would have expected really today. And that basically didn't happen. So let's jump in to price action. Here we're on the 15-minute. You can see here is our candle. I'll go ahead and mark it on the price action here. Let's don't do that. Let's actually put on our 8:30 candle here, our 7:30 candle here in the morning. And I guess we're just not going to put that on today, because for some reason it won't let me there it is. Okay, so 7:30 candle, that's the start of our day. You can see that it came down. No surprise, right? It really was already in the move. This was yesterday's hard drop. Again, weird price action, fell down. This is when it should have taken the juice, if you're looking at it like that. This was a pretty solid move with a nice little pullback. I'm marking it on the chart with a pattern. Typically, this was the breakdown. Let me go ahead and get to this area somewhere up in here. Here's your run. And if you are looking at this to break down, you're not that far off. Now you're looking at around that 65,000 level into that low 64 level, mid 64,000. And it's definitely a target down here. It did come down and target right into target 3 from yesterday. That's why I like to leave my levels on my chart usually, especially in the morning, to kind of use it for analysis. And this came down and literally just tapped right on it and then wicked right back up, open. But the way this came back out of here built some pretty good strength. It would have been hard to trade here. That would have been a tough trade. This actually broke back through. Would not surprise me that it came up through here. I would have expected this to trade on down at this point. You can see that it didn't. It traded sideways. It did wick up higher, which was a nice sign. And then this should have been starting to curl over and start to come back down to come after this area, or at least come back down and test this lower area. We went back up and tested this high. So really this was telling you this was a pretty strong zone. This was just kind of creating that lower area, and now we're back up. This looks really good. Now this is a bullish kind of setup here, and we did the 65,000 has been asking for price action for weeks, and yet it will not go down there. There's a lot of money sitting down there. There's a lot of people that put stops down there. But there's a lot of buyers coming in and putting orders in right here. You can see that's the energy that we just saw in here. Now, you might be going, oh yeah, you're getting bullish. No, I talked about this before. I trade what the charts are telling me. I don't get into that bullish and bearish. I'm bullish and bearish every day. One morning I would wake up and I'll be bullish that day and I'm going to take a long. The next day I'm bearish and I'm going to take a short. I really don't care what the price action's doing on a long-term scale. Yeah, long-term investing, yeah, I care, but not even that, because really in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, go back and look at any asset in the market. Yes, it has its ups. Yes, it has its downs. Sometimes it's a week or a month. Sometimes it's years even. But overall, if you look at it and you just keep all those valleys and you know, mountains and valleys that have been created in the chart, really it just lower and higher over the lifetime. That's why retirements are built. So if that's what you're doing in BTC or any asset, then why are you worried about what's happening right now? You could just turn off the news and you should be acquiring right now and not even looking, because this is when price is going down below certain areas where everybody gets scared. That's the time to buy. I mean, that's what you want to buy. You want to buy when everybody's running out of here. You want to be buying. And you can see people are doing that, and that's not financial advice. I mean, that's just a standard. I mean, kids go through this in high school type stuff, or even middle school, and they talk about, you know, in economics class. Everybody kind of knows you buy low and sell high. Well, what does that mean? I just explained it. It's pretty simple. Now, if you're in trading, like we're talking about here, you're not doing that. You're analyzing what's happening in a short little window of time. And that's why we're looking at the 15-minute. And that's what we always talk about our levels, talk about the system. That's what I started with. And that's what I wanted to show you was those levels. Now, today, our system put the breakout trigger way up here, and they put the breakdown trigger way down here. And you're going, well, it broke down. Let's take it. What? No, the spread in the lines already showed you exhaustion. Exhaustion, right? The reason why is it called the very top. So you're asking price action to leave here and go all the way up here, or it's just going to keep dumping. Well, it already burned all its energy. Well, how do you know it burned all its energy? Well, any indicator that you're using, if it's on the bottom of the indicator, then it's not going to keep going down. Well, price action went down, yeah. And so did the whatever indicator you're going to use, RSI, Stoaches, even MACDs. You can use the indicator that we use. It's called the Joule by MetaSignals. I mean, you can use any of that stuff. And no, we're not affiliated with MetaSignals. The 1 hour is also your juice. I mean, you could say, well, look, we're rolling over. Yes, you're right. I mean, we've ran up, but you also have the 21 that's cupped underneath price action. This is the first reclimb back up in the areas. Eventually we'll stop talking like this, because it'll just start climbing and going and going, and everybody's going to start to forget of it being down here. But this is the behavior that you need to watch. Don't get tired and just leave the market. Teach yourself a system where you can continue to trade in it. So right now, this is technically what we're looking for, is this to get cupped underneath price action, which it has. You can see it's been testing it. This could easily start to cup underneath. Price action is going to continue to build on it. It's going to take out its 200. The 21 will cross to the 200. Those are all bullish, bullish, bullish. Now, if we break back down and start to go back below, then yeah, we're going to start being bearish. We're start on the rebuild. Right now, you have the 21 on the 4 hour. The 4 hour is getting near the bottom of the energy again. So the energy is going to want to push up, push up. So you start going out in the higher time frames. What are they doing? Right now, the 8 hour is curling back, but a lot of times it's just going to start to stair stuff. So that's just kind of how it goes. When you're looking at the 22 hour, yeah, it's starting to roll over a little bit. It's going in compression state. The daily, though, is just now starting to roll and say it wants to push here. So there you go. If you're going to go bullish, but as I'm going through this, you can see that I'm not leaning one way or the other. Really, I'm kind of leaning in a neutral state, because the lower time frames are showing that they kind of want to turn. The 1 hour is starting to move in that direction again. It did start to bounce in key levels of support. You can see I have this white line here. This is from the bigger time frames. If you're drawing that out, you can see this has all been support. This area coming right down through here, it looks really steep right now because I'm zoomed in on the chart. If I zoomed out though, you could definitely see the bear flag. You can see I'm also marking it here. I am watching for this to drop. And this is my floor that I'm looking for it to be held on, which is right about where it wicked through recently. So anywhere in this is a zone. It's a big zone, really. But you're looking at around, the 66,000 to 65,500, right in that range, is a pretty hard pocket. But we're also on the big time frames when we're looking at these zones. So big time frames, it's like a big, huge ship in the ocean, a big cruise ship. It's not going to just rotate around and go back the other way. If a storm was coming, it's going to slowly turn. Or if it's leaving a storm, it's going to slowly turn away from it and travel away. So think of the storm as bearish, bullish, right? That's kind of what we're watching for. So if it's going to start to push away from it and start getting more and more bullish, the daily eventually will get above all these areas, just like we talked about in the lower time frames, and it'll start to build. As I just kind of zoomed, I guess, this open a little more so you can see it. But you can see we've been fighting up through these levels, which we know that it's right around that 72,000 we've talked about a lot. We have to get back through that 68,200. That's a strong start. That's right here that it's already been rejected on. Now you could say we're stair-stepping down. I won't disagree with you. You're making higher lows. This is a head and shoulder pattern to the downside. This could break down. I have levels marked on the chart for a while. 55,000. I'll agree with everybody. It looks like it could go down there. It's almost looks like it could go down there so much that it's like everybody's putting their short in, getting ready for it to go down there. Well, what's going to happen? It's going to go the other way. Like that's common. If everybody is so bearish and so negative and so burned out, then price action goes the other way. Like you can almost trade that way. If you go back and analyze that strategy of that, it'll work out in your favor. And that's not a bad long-term investment strategy. And that's exactly where we're at right now. So people start to say, hey, should I buy BTC? I could buy it at 60,000. You're right. You could, but you could maybe this is the last time you're going to see 66,000 or 65,000. I don't know. Nobody does. But we're also running through the probabilities here, and we're starting to look at it's holding this area. It's been holding this area. There's multi-times that this could have all taken it out. Right here, it could have taken it out. Right here, it could have taken it out. Right here, definitely could have taken it out. Right here, could have taken it out. So there's a lot of behavior that could have easily broken through this bottom. Now, some people could say, well, it keeps hammering on. Eventually, it's going to break through. Yes, that's true. So let's see which side are we going to break out on, because it's either going to break out on the top side or the downside. And we know we just went through those key levels. We just went through those key areas on the chart. And you can go back and slow down the video. We're obviously looking at this bottom here that I kind of drew on here around that 65,500 if you want an exact zone or more accurate. Right now you're sitting around that 68,200. We need to see it get above that. If we start clearing back through that, then you're looking around that 72,000, which is really just kind of up in this area. You can see, though, if this one daily started to go through those areas that I just talked about, it's also clearing the trend line. So it's breaking the trend, the down behavior trend. It's also breaking its 21, which also starts to say, well, it's going to go after its 200. You can see the 200's been coming down slowly, and it's already down into below 90,000. So eventually this is going to become a magnet. It's going to go up and test it. It's going to take out all these people. So there's a lot of people that are taking shorts, and they're doing this kind of stuff. They're saying, I'm going to enter here, and they're going to put their stop right up here, right? They're going to put their stops above these areas. These are all shelves that price action is going to have to go through. But the more people that start putting their stops there, guess where price action is going to want to get sucked into. Say if you took it all the way down here, you're like, oh, it's a 3-to-1. That's a great trade on the daily. I could just sit in this, let it grind down and come all the way down here. Yes, you could. But as of right now, you're kind of late to the party for doing that. It's the news, everything is negative. I would say definitely be careful in that space. It's not actually giving us a lot of energy for us to be able to do that. And you're also starting to show change in compression. So you can see that we tried to push up through here with the energy. It did fight. Then it had a chance to take it down. I mean, this was really its chance to take it away. and break this lower area. So this would, if you were going to be bearish, this was it. It broke off that trend line right here. It also rolled over on the daily. It topped out and started to come down. And since then, it's grinded, but it did not get through this floor. You know, you have to start thinking like, well, what's going on here? And start paying attention. There's something in the water, if you will. And I'm not calling it bullish yet, so don't put that on me. But I'm watching the behaviors and starting to think, because I really don't care either way. Like I said, we're trading the 15-minute. All I care about is this little window of time right here. I did not get an opportunity to trade here, and the reason why is because of the Kubroto system was pretty much telling us, here is your 2 triggers. If it gets all the way up here, I wasn't going to take it anyways, because even if it broke out, that's a lot of energy just to get up there. It had to go through some major resistance. I just went through it all. For it to get all the way up there would have been crazy. Now, tomorrow, these lines are going to reset based on behavior. And if this price action holds, just like it's trying to do right now, this could easily hold for us tonight and trade sideways and move our triggers and everything down and really start to show, yeah, it's going to go ahead and get this upper area. But we don't care till tomorrow, actually, on that. If somebody took this trade right here, that's very lucky. I would like to see the system that called out this bottom. A lot of people will do this, and they'll say, hey, when this breaks back above this, I'm going to get in. They'll put their stop here. Well, the market maker knows this, and a lot of times they will come down and get them. It happened more than likely right here when it first came down. Somebody did what I just said. It broke right here, right? They put their stop right here, right below this area. They thought it was going to go on up, just like you saw right here. They're like, oh, I'm going to trade it up to this moving average or whatever you decided to do. You got in and it started to go, and then wrecked, took you out right here. You lost, and then this time it worked out. So that's why I said that's not a system. You can't read price action that way. You'll be wrecked more times than you're not. Now you can say, well, I'm going to always pull it off, you know, small loops, small movements. That's great, but you'll still get death by 1,000 cuts because you'll get knocked out of the market more times than you're going to gain. And when you do gain, your risk to reward isn't high enough to compensate for loss. The whole point of a system is it has a very high probability of it to play out. So you really don't take a whole lot of losses. And even when price action starts to play in, you could take it off earlier if you decide, especially if you had a system into place. But it typically will do a true breakout and run for you. So yes, I would say right now this was weird price action right through here. This pushed up why there wasn't a lot of energy to push it up. And you might argue with me saying, well, yeah, it is, because look at the energy. You're at the bottom. It ran. Yes, but you're also trading that on the 15 minutes. So let's go out to the 1 hour and say, well, do you have the fuel in the tank? The 1 hour does have the fuel in the tank. I mean, I'll give you that one. Okay, you called me out. Let's go on out to the 4 hour and see what's going. Ouch. The 4 hour didn't. So you have a confliction. And that's why the Kubroto system gave you the line. So really, if you didn't have the indicator, I just showed you the Kubroto system was also looking at the higher time frames and saying, watch out. You got one time frame that says this. You got another time frame to say this. And they're both strong. They're the ones that make the wind. They're the ones that make the rain. They're the ones that make the lightning, the storm that you don't want to be out in. And they're the ones that are showing you that, hey, there's a storm out here. There's something going on. And you didn't need an indicator to tell you that. The tool told you that right here when it put the support and resistance on. And this could roll on back over and start to take out these lower areas. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know because the energy is done for us. We would have been looking at taking this opportunity. Ultimately, we would have been looking at really just getting into the short and running it down. And taking advantage of that price action on the downside. So that is about it, guys. Go ahead and build your system, study it. Right now is the best time to start really learn how to use the market, because when it's ready to go, you want to have capital and you want to be knowledgeable so you can take advantage of it. So when the ship or the train or whatever analogy you want to use, when it leaves the station, you want to be on it so you can go for the ride. Because when markets move, that's when money's made. Not right now is when you're just taking little bite-sized pieces out, little trades, you're building the account. If you're managing your system and you're doing it correctly, there's trade opportunities here, but it's not going to be the big wins that can come when you actually have movement in the direction of one way or the other. and you can take advantage of it. So get excited because it is starting to build. It's been building. The energy was there and it's been exhausted, which that's where I'm getting excited. Everybody's just there's negative. My phone gives me news. It's, oh man, this dropped X amount. I go look. I'm like, what? That happened like 2 days ago. Why are you telling me now? Because they want you to read their junk. So, all right. Anyways, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. Study right now. Get into the charts. Get in and take an opportunity for yourself. Get ready. Get that capital ready to go, and let's get ready to have a fun time when it starts to run. So, all right, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe. Be sure to get on our lives Monday through or Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday. We always go live at 8:30 Central Time, so you can actually see opportunity and get into trades with us if there's opportunity there. You can see the levels. You'll know you could actually almost just trade with us if you wanted. We do show the opportunity that's there on those 3 days, and those are usually the highest 3 days of probability. So you can go ahead and hang out with us there as well. Watch our channel. We do have a lot of educational videos on there as well, and you can learn quite a bit. And so, all right, guys, I will leave it for now, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon.